Hey everyone, I'm going to talk to you about the Micca Origen Plus and the Micca Origen G2. These are awesome little amp DAC combos, and they're not very expensive. They're about $110 normally, sometimes up to $140, sometimes as low as $95, possibly $90 if you have a coupon or you get them on eBay or something. Links in the description below for an Amazon link and an eBay search. But anyway, they're a USB and optical DAC. So you can use it via USB, plugged into your computer, or you can use it via optical. So this is a G2, this is a G2, and this is a Origen Plus. So what you would call a G1. This one I have plugged in through USB. This one's plugged in to USB power and optical, and this one's plugged into USB power and optical as well. It's super simple to use. You have a big volume knob on the top. Clicking it turns it off. Clicking it turns it on. And then you just simply adjust your volume here. Now on the top, it has a neat little visualizer, which is a red and blue LED. And one's for the left channel, one's for the right channel. So we can see that something's playing on this one right now. On the front, I'm gonna unplug this guy, or I'll unplug, let's see. I'll unplug this guy, it's a G2, so it's kind of hard to find a G1 nowadays, so most of it's gonna be about the G2 anyway. So on the front you have a 3.5 or 1/8 inch audio. And you have a 1/4 inch on the bottom. The manual for the Micca does not recommend using both at the same time, so I wouldn't. But if you have a 1/4 inch for your headphone, you can just go right in. Or you have a 3.5, which goes right in like that. And then you have a switch where you can increase the gain. There's your gain switch here. There's low gain, high gain, and then there's also a nifty switch for switching from headphones to your line out on the back. And on the back, you have a line out for a set of speakers. And I use these with my JBL LSR 305 and just a 3.5 to TRS audio cable, and it works great. So I only have one audio device plugged into my computer. It's this guy through optical. I prefer using optical through USB instead of USB, and I'll tell you why in a second. But the optical cable goes in here, and then your USB power would go in here. Now you can use the USB for data transmission as well. So if you want to use power and data, so if you're using like a laptop or something like that, you just plug in a single USB cord and flip the switch there, and so it won't just be power. It'll also, the audio stream would come through that as well. I've noticed that with my particular computer setup, I get a little bit of noise through USB connection, and that can be from a lot of different factors. So what I do is I use optical out from my motherboard, and then I use an external USB power brick. Like you can use an Apple phone charger or Android phone charger. And pretty much anything will power this, so you don't need a whole lot of power. They do also sell DC 5-volt power adapters, but you really don't need to spend that money on that. You can just use a USB power brick you have laying around. It's a completely metal construction. It's a super durable unit. And it's an awesome little amp DAC, and it sounds really good too. I don't have any problem powering my HD 6XX, which are, I think, the highest impedance, most power hungry headphones I have. I'm sure they would sound better on a larger amp, but honestly, this is a huge improvement over anything you would be running internally, with your computer sound card or anything like that. And it's super inexpensive, so I like the versatility. The shit full of 2 is a similar product to this, but it does not have the optical capability, and it also doesn't have the line out capability for speakers. I like just having this on my desk, leaving the headphones plugged in, and then just flipping back and forth between my speakers and my headphones as I need to. So that's really, really awesome. And really, honestly, that can't be understated enough for a product this cheap and in this price range. There's no static or anything that I can hear from the volume knob as you're changing volume. So it's very, very smooth, gives you a lot of control, and I like it a lot. I wish it was gripped a little bit. The whole thing's smooth, so you can kind of slide around on it, but if you pinch it tightly, it's not a big deal. The visualization is super cool. I like that as well. There's really nothing I don't like about this little guy, and as you can see, I have a few of them. I've got a G1 and two G2s. They do sound the same. The difference between the Origin Plus / G1 and then the G2 is that the drivers are not signed for the G1. So it works fine on Mac and I believe Linux as well, but Windows complains about it a lot, and you have to do a special driver install for the G1, and it's a pain in the ass to get it to work right for Windows 8 and Windows 10. It's a little bit easier on Windows 7, but the G2s have no problems. You just plug it in, it installs, it's good to go, and you don't have to worry about it. These will provide much better sound, like I said, than your onboard sound. Whether it's on your laptop or your desktop, it doesn't matter. I would highly recommend this, especially if you have a gaming server and if you're using one of the Xeon builds for gaming and you need a sound card because servers don't come with sound cards. You can simply use this guy through USB and you'll have speakers out and headphone out, and you'll have a really good sound, sound signal and all that. So this is kind of a one-stop shop solution for a lot of people, and it'll give you access to high impedance headphones, and you can use pretty much any headphone with it within reason, of course, and it sounds really great. It's also fairly portable. It's not very large. There's a small spray bottle. I mean, it's about the size of that, maybe a little bit bigger. And I have one of these around, and I have it in my bag, my go bag. What I have set up right now, I have two of these in through external USB power, and then optical to both of these into an optical splitter. And so what I do is I have them here on the desk like this. These go to optical to my MacBook Pro, and my MacBook Pro has a mini. Use one of these. Okay, I use one of these optical cables, which they're pretty neat. You might want to pick one of these up. I'll link in the description on Amazon as well. It's a standard optical cable to a mini Toast-Link, and believe it or not, most of the MacBooks have mini Toast-Link. So it looks like an audio, like a 3.5 audio jack, and then it's really optical, which is super cool. My camera can focus on it. Yeah. So anyway, I like these cables a lot. It gives you the versatility for regular or mini, and that's what I use for this setup. This is my AB headphone testing setup, so I'll use both of these guys and just have two headphones plugged in. That way I don't have to swap out cables and stuff like that. The one thing I would say is I've noticed that the 3.5mm jack is a little bit loose. It doesn't have any connection problems or anything like that, but it's just not as tight fitting as I would like compared to my MacBook or my desktop. So I would consider, if your headphones have 1/4 inch, use the 1/4 inch adapter into here, or if you can buy a couple 1/4 inch adapters, try to use your 1/4 inch adapters with this guy, and then you don't have to worry about wearing out this jack any more than necessary. I do use it from time to time. It's not a big deal, but I think the preferred option is to buy like a 5-pack of these 1/4-inch adapters, and if you wear these out, you can just pull it out and change it. So usually I'll have my the one that I use to go, like an out, I'll just leave the 1/4-inch like this in there, and then I'll plug in whatever headphones I want to the 1/4-inch. So that's just a little tip there about that. And it does come with a USB cable, and I think that's it. It might actually, you know what? It does come with a an RCA cable from what I can remember. So it'll come up with a 3.5 to RCA. It's a pretty nice cable. So yeah, that's the Micca Origen G2. If you have any questions about this little guy, hit me up on Reddit or Discord, or ask in the comment section below. And as always, there's links to Amazon about all the stuff I talked about in the description of this video. And if you have any questions, like I said, just hit me up and I'll do my best to answer them. So I will see you guys next time.